Hey everybody, Robert from Black Belt Gaming. Continuing my playthrough. This is maybe a few days later. It's November the 7th, 2023. And I've got the door open and I'm kind of expecting a delivery today. I ordered a cheap dice tower and a card holder, and it might just be pieces of junk, but we'll have to wait and see. But back to the scenario. Let's make sure everything is here that should be. I think my board is matching up. You know, you never know when you have a little curious 5-year-old running around the house, sees all these pretty looking tokens and cards and figures on the board. She might just want to pick one up and move it around for fun. So I think we're in good shape. Thank you to the viewer who commented about the cultist. I think you are right. I think I do remember that there's kind of an either or effect. So I probably moved that cultist too many spaces back during its first activation. I think I probably should have just ended up moving him 2 spaces, and then he would have, I guess, stopped about here, and then that would have been it. So I don't think he would have moved 2 and then 2 more. I don't think that would have happened. So we'll just keep going from there. Let's pick it up with our investigators. We are with Agatha Crane and Joe Diamond. I just looked through their decks of cards to remind myself what they had since it had been a couple of days. Let's see what we can do. Just reminding myself, we are focused. 1 damage, 1 horror, actually 2 horror, and one of these is hallucinations. It's messing with our observation skill. So Joe Diamond is loaded with clue tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of these puppies. And Agatha Crane, she's doing a little better. She's got 1 damage face down. No horror currently. I think she drank her whiskey. And she had picked up something. That's right, the arcane manuscript. That might. I have to remember, she's got this puzzle box too. The puzzle box might be worth checking out. And somebody had the old journal. And it's not him. Does she have it? Somebody had an old journal, I could have sworn. And there was something about you can look through that old journal as an action. Yep, he's got it. You can look through the old journal to gain some information. So maybe we ought to consider doing that. Let's see what some of these things will lead to. We'll mess around with the puzzle box and the old journal this turn. So let's start with Joe Diamond. I guess it's in the inventory. This is the journal. So Joe Diamond's gonna read a little bit. This takes an action, so note that. You skim the entries until you find something relevant to your investigation. My parents do not think I see them. They gather with their friends, wear those strange robes, and do terrible things that they think I do not see. I overheard them last night talking about including me in the rituals, but all I can think is that what happened to my arm? Were those squid and fish not enough? Why can I only remember shapes that do not make sense? I will not join them, never. I have seen what they do. Wow, he's going to gain another clue. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 clues for him. There are more entries. Sure, let's keep reading. Action number 2. Here we go. Another entry seems to build on the previous one. It happened tonight. They tried to raise, oh Lord in heaven, I cannot even think about it without shaking. They tried to raise that thing. I could not let them. It could destroy us all. I just know it. I interrupted their ritual. Things did not go as planned from there. My parents are dead, but the creature, that thing, it is safely away from Arkham, and long as I live, I will keep it away. I felt it pulling at my mind since that day, calling to its devotees for help. I will not let it out. It is bound to my will now. God help me. Gain 1 clue and the missing link unique item. So we've added the missing link evidence to our card stack. Maybe that was all that was there. So we have 1 action remaining for Joe Diamond. And he's down here close to this crowbar. Another clue token over here, and then an area to explore right where I've got my dice. Well, I am carrying so much, and I don't remember there being any sort of encumbrance limitation or hand size limitation. I don't recall that being the case. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm carrying around all these guns and a sledgehammer, and I'm about to pick up a crowbar as well. But I don't know. Should we do it? We've got a sledgehammer. Why don't we move down here? And we'll be ready to investigate this search token in the next turn. So that'll be it. Well, Joe is buried in clue tokens, which is a wonderful problem to have. Agatha has 1, and she's holding on to this puzzle box. Let's go mess with the puzzle box. Okay, so you found this puzzle box hidden in a book. As an action, the investigator holding the puzzle may attempt to open the puzzle box using observation. Well, we're glad with his hallucinations that Joe didn't have it. So she will attempt it. We're going to take an action off of her card, and she has an observation of 4, I believe. Yep, so she's going to get 4 moves here to try to get this piece into there. I'm going to look at this for a minute. All right, I've just been looking at this. I think this bottom part may take too long, or it might be out of the question. We're wanting to get us this part open. We can start with 4 moves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all we can do with this point. So I'm going to go on with a second action. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. We'll start it up again. Go heading in with our next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we did it in 2. Inside the box, you find a weathered scroll containing words of great power. Gain the Rack spell. I don't think I've ever seen this one. Why am I getting the feeling we're going to face off against something massive? We've got this shotgun that does 6 damage, and this Rack spell does 5. So it does causes all kinds of intense pain to your enemy's body. Well, I'm glad to have it, but kind of rather not need it, you know? So the box has been opened. The spell gained inside. We have, remember, we're playing 3 actions per investigator, so we have 1 action left. There is a search token here, so I guess we'll do our last action to check it. A pile of ash. We will search it for our last action. You kneel down and examine, only to recoil when you see several human teeth. Suffer 2 horror, but will negate. Well, let's see how that goes. Willpower is 4 for Agatha. Shooting for 2 successes. She got 3 on the roll. So she is okay. Among the ashes, you find an amulet with a wave motif surrounding a green stone. With the victim's body removed from the scene, you are forced to consider that you have just discovered the remains of the murderer. Glancing at the blackened fireplace, you thank whatever providence has kept you from a similar fate. Gain 2 clues and become focused. Sounds good. All right, so 2 clue tokens. We became focused. Discard the search token. We'll do that. And I think that's all we can do. That's 3 actions apiece. Summoned by unknown power, a strange creature soars over the high wall in the yard, spawn a hunting horror as indicated. Okay, hunting horror was over here. We just used the token. What else? Almost every door in the estate bangs open and close. Distracted by the cacophony, you do not notice the ground of the estate swelling into a wave that knocks you backward. Each investigator suffers 1 damage and 1 face-down horror. Dexterity will negate this. Then each investigator moves 1 space toward the entry hall. That's interesting. Let me take care of these rolls here. I guess we'll go with Agatha first. Agility. Agility is it. 3. 1 damage and 1 face-down horror. Agility will negate. And she's got 2 successes on her 3 agility, so that should cancel both of them. However, she's moved 1 space toward the entry hall. That's here. So she's kind of knocked out of this room and pushed this way, I guess. All right, so we've got Joe Diamond way down here. He's got an agility of 5. So 5 dice for him. We'll spend a clue token. He's got an abundance. So that'll be 2 successes for him, negates the damage, but he's also pushed back a space. There's really nowhere else for him to go. So that is resolved. And the hunting horror moves 3 spaces toward the investigator within range. Let me do a little counting here. 1, 2, 3. He's not going to get 1, 2, 3. He's not going to... Is he going to get within range? Not within range to attack. All right, so let me try to not make the same mistake I did before. He's going to move 3 spaces. Range is considered 3 spaces. And then he will attack. So I think we just need to say that he doesn't move because there are no investigators within range. So when we go to the table, we'll see that the creatures here, 1, 2, 3. If we were within any of those spaces, he could get us 1, 2, 3, or 3. No, he can't get us. So that one just doesn't happen. So no investigators within range. The creature opens its mouth and breathes in, tasting the air. Catching the scent of prey, the creature shrieks and slithers through the air. It moves 3 spaces toward the nearest investigator. So that's probably how I should have played the cultist before instead of moving him twice. So 3 spaces. Who is actually the closest? 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's Joe Diamond. So he's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. And I think that is it. I wonder if we're going to have to make horror checks now. Each investigator must resolve a horror check against a monster within range. Well, that's Joe. So Agatha's through some doors. She doesn't need to worry about this. Joe's going to have to do it, though. Resolve a horror check, we will. The creature rattles deep in its throat, then begins to speak in clear, unambiguous words. The last words of its many victims, one after the other, suffer 3 horror. Wow. Will negate it. So willpower is 4. Three successes. That's great. That's what we needed. Just right on the nose. So we were not shaken by that, probably because we have pockets full of guns and sledgehammers. So we are all right. Lucky for us. And I think that's going to end it. And we're back to the investigators. Well, let's reset our counters here on our characters. And I say maybe, I wonder if we should move Joe Diamond into combat with this thing. Guns and range, that's something I need to review myself, including spells too. I don't know if I have to be in his space or if I can shoot from a distance. Okay, just a good point of review. It depends on the icon of what you're using. So if we were to use the rack spell, that's a melee weapon attack icon. If we go to the shotgun here, we've got a ranged attack. So easy enough. Very good. So we can definitely use our one of our guns here to shoot from range. So the shotgun was our strongest. You cannot attack a monster that is more than 1 space away. Well, he is 1 space away. We got pulled by that whatever tremor there was, and that moved us up. So we should be able to shoot this thing with the shotgun. So let's resolve an attack with Joe Diamond against this hunting horror. First action. We're going to attack with a firearm. You scramble upwards looking for a clean angle for a desperate shot at the thing's most sensitive spot. What is this called again? Agility. Agility +1. The monster will suffer damage equal to your test result. Well, agility +1. That for us is our best characteristic, our best attribute. We've got 5. +1 is going to be 6. So we should be able to roll a 6 here. And 2 successes. We'll go ahead and use Joe Diamond's ability. If you spend a clue token to convert clues to successes, you may convert up to 2 of them. So we're going to convert both of these, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 successes on the shot. So let me go back to this program. You scramble looking for a clean angle for your desperate shot. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result. So it doesn't do test result plus damage. It's just the test result. Huh. All right. I guess I'll go with it. And I think that is it. So we're going to go both barrels on this thing and shoot at it again, because it is not dead. Going with the firearm a second time. At the sight of the beast, your hands begin to shake and you struggle to reload your weapon. Willpower 2. If you pass, you steady yourself, finish reloading, and open fire. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage. There we go. If you fail, the ammunition clatters to the ground and you fall to your knees to collect it. So willpower 2 is what we need. That's not our best thing, but it's not our worst, is it? Well, he's got 3s and a lot of stuff. So let's roll 3 dice. We need 2 successes here. That's not going to do it. Well, rats, we fell to our knees trying to pick up our dropped ammo. I'm going to double check what cards I have in my inventory. Nothing really going to help us out here. So that's just a missed attack. I would say let's go with our third action and attack one more time. Last action. The creature leaves itself exposed, and you draw your weapon to take advantage of the opportunity. We need agility, and we need 2 successes on this roll. Sorry, I had the camera in the wrong place. We need 2 successes on this roll. Let's go with 5 dice. And we got 3, so that is good. Let's check out. Again, we got more than we needed. If you pass, the weapon is in your hands in an instant, and succession of shots ring out. The monster suffers damage equal to your weapon's damage. So it takes 6. Boom, 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 boom. So that is dead. We shot him out of the sky. Hunting horror is out. Well, Agatha, she's going to move 2 spaces for her first action. And she'll spend a second action to explore that token. Or sorry, moved the wrong window. I'll get the hang of this one day. This one. A cold draft comes from under the door. It appears to have been altered to contain 3 locks. There is a brass keyhole, a silver keyhole, and a strange round keyhole with indents in the shape of a star. So, I'm not even sure. Did we spend our second action? Did that count? Or did I just click on that and it told me that? So probably we need keys, so I didn't actually spend a second action there. Okay. Second action, let's move away from this door. We're back out in the hall. And maybe then we heard the gunshots. So we'll spend our third action. And let's move down the main hall. So we're kind of coming in on both sides of this room, whatever's here. I feel like we need to go to the cellar. You know, Joe Diamond is the only one that's carrying anything that can get into that cellar. He may need the crowbar. We don't have it yet, but hopefully the sledgehammer can work. But that's it. We're kind of out of actions for the moment. The floor creaks under an unseen figure, the sound of its footsteps echoing in the empty house. In response, something keens quietly in the cellar. A moment later, a ghostly middle-aged man with his arm missing below the elbow appears in the dining room. Place the person token as indicated. All right, so somebody's in the dining room. I was looking for the right token. I picked up one of a kid. There we go. All right, let's see what else happens. Agatha Crane's limbs are wrenched into impossible angles by an invisible force. 4 damage. Strength +1 negates. Wow. Well, here's a little token that we put down. 4 damage. Her strength is only 2. This is going to hurt. No, strength +1 on the roll. 1 success. So she takes 3 damage from this. She's only... she can only take about 5 points. So what happened here? Card number 1, back spasm. Drop 1 random item and then flip this card face down. I'm just going to assume, I don't know if I'm supposed to look at the back of these spell cards, and I didn't, but I noticed there is something written on there. But it is telling me that in the book that spells are items, so maybe I need to include them in this. I'm just going to go with a random card draw and just something out of the middle. What do we get? We dropped our photographic evidence, so we dropped 1 random item. So we put that on the board. And flip the card face down. So that's 1 damage. And how many more? I think it's 2 more. Next one, grievous injury. The pain clouds your vision and sends you staggering. Suffer 1 additional face down damage. All right, let me add that. That's going to put her at 4 damage on her character card. So this will take her to 5. Again, back spasms. Draw 1 item and then, or drop 1 item. Random item. She dropped her lantern. Okay. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 for her. I think something bad happens there. Yep, it's bad news for Agatha. She's going to become a wounded investigator. So she's going to need to take the wounded card. We'll discard these. If she takes 5 damage again, she's killed. So it just says we cannot perform the move action more than once. Yep. So that's going to slow us down quite a bit. All right, we'll continue. That was a rough one. Well, I think for her first action on this turn, the wounded Agatha will collect her dropped items for an action. She'll take a second action to take a step, and for a third action, she's going to explore this token. She still has 1 point of movement available to her, but let's check this out. We will explore. So we need the ballroom tile. All right, I'm back. Had a little interruption there. My mother-in-law came home from the doctor, had a little fish bone stuck in her throat, and they had to get in there and pull that out. So we try to eat a good amount of fish, and got lots of little bones in it you have to be careful of. So let's see. We will remove the tokens going into this ballroom. And what else happens? Search token in the middle. Place that one. It says in the center of the room, strange runes have been painted on the floor and a small altar has been constructed. The hilt of a dagger can be seen beneath the piano. The ritual dagger goes there. Hey, I just saw on the ritual dagger you get an additional die when you cast a spell. That might be perfect for Agatha. The furniture in the ballroom could be stacked against the doors. So 2 options for barricades. All right, we've got the barricades placed. We can move 1 space into the ballroom. She'll do that. And she's left with 1 movement remaining, so she'll step into the space with the ritual dagger. And that's all of her actions. I think Joe's going to move down for 1. And we'll check out this token down this way. A fire is smoldering. Some object on the stone catches light from the flames. We'll search it for a second action. Several gold coins and the remnants of something large can be seen on the hottest part of the fire. You notice a small key at the edges of the flames, and time you're grabbed to avoid the fire's sparks. So need to make an agility. We're pretty decent at that. Agility is 5, so let's see how we do. 2 successes. Let's spend one of our clue tokens and shoot that up to 4 successes. That should be a definite grab. Your hand shoots forward. You paw the curiously cool key to the side of the pit and pick it up. Gain the brass key. You recognize the other objects in the fire as offering to some power. Gain 1 clue token. So we'll get that clue token back. And we got the brass key. All right, we've added that to our inventory. We have an additional point of movement we can spend. Let's move back to the space where we were. So we move down and we move back. And I guess for the final action, we will pick up the crowbar. Don't know if we need it, but we might. And I think that will end it for Joe. Got to remember that Agatha can only move once on her turn because she's wounded. A spell leaps unbidden into your mind. That's going to be Joe's mind. You attempt to decipher the spell. We need 1 success on a lore check. His lore is 3. Well, I think we're going to spend that clue token after all. So we're going to spend it, change that 1 to a success. That will allow us, I think, to pass this. We needed 1. So if you pass, you realize casting it would be a terrible idea. And if you fail, the words you mumble somehow twist in the air and we would take a bunch of damage. So we're not going to do that. We were able to avoid. And we're back to the investigators. So there's not a whole lot left for us to search. We need to get some keys. So we've got this strange figure up here. And then we've got the root cellar. And I think we've pretty well explored almost everywhere else. So I think we're getting close to something, I think. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you later.